Good day, sir. I am Mirasha Enrico, and together with my group, here to present our survey focusing on the selected factors affecting sleep deprivation of civil engineering students of Technological University of the Philippines. For our quick background, so in summary for this paragraph, and as stated by Guadiana and Taylor in 2021, that sleep deprivation is prevalent to college students. Hence, measures should be taken to alleviate this issue. However, studies regarding factors influencing student sleep deprivation, an essential part of this solution, remain largely an unidentified public issue, as mentioned by Alton, Sinhar, and Dede in 2012. Thus, this leads us to conduct this survey. And for our respondents, to begin, our population are the selected first to third year civil engineering students from our campus. They are chosen not only due to their relation to our course, but because, as mentioned, sleep deprivation is prevalent among college students. With this, a total of 128 civil engineering students, 44 from first year, thus 37 from second year, and 47 third years will be our population. And to identify our samples, we utilize the Slovin's formula with a 10% margin of error. And upon solving and using the said formula, we obtain a total sample size of 56 students. Furthermore, by utilizing the simple stratified sampling technique, we are now left with a sample proportionally divided by subgroups of 19 first years, 16 second years, and 21 third years. And after that, we proceed with our data gathering that leads us to these survey results. So first, this figure presents the frequency distribution of our respondents per year level, where we got responses from 19 first-year students, 16 in the second year, and 21 responses from the third year, which tallied into 56 responses. Next presented is the students' average hours of sleep in a day, whereas shown, the first-year students having 5.29 hours had the highest average hours of sleep, while the lowest is acquired by the third-year students who have 5.19 hours of sleep in average. Conversely, our overall respondents have an average of 5.24 hours of sleep in a day. Now, for the main agenda of this survey, the most and least affecting factors of the civil engineering students' sleep deprivation, we utilize mode as the statistical tool. First, presented are the three major affecting factors, and based on figure 3, the least affecting factor is the personal problem, according to 24 students, while academic works is the most affecting factor, based from 37 students. Now, in terms of the types or sub-factors of academic works, Figure 4 indicates that, according to 19 students, assessments is the least affecting factor, while assignments is the most affecting factor, as stated by 21 students. To proceed, with regards to the top types of gadgets used as an affecting factor, the cell phone is the chosen most affecting factor, as voted by 39 students. Now, with respect to the application category as factors affecting students' sleep deprivation, with reference to Figure 6, games are the least affecting factor as stated by 39 respondents. And proceeding to the subfactors of personal problems, which is mentioned as the considered least affecting factor for the students, we have its subfactors. And according to our 22 respondents, for them, the least affecting subfactor is the financial problems, while mental problems is the most affecting factor of their sleep deprivation, as stated by 34 students. Now, utilizing the same statistical tool to identify the most common sleep duration of student, Figure 8 presents that the common sleep duration in a day for the 7 first-year students, which is the majority, is 5 hours, followed by the 7 second-year students having a common 4 hours sleep in a day, which is similar to the 8 third-year students. From this, there is a total of 17 students that have a common 4 hours of sleep in a day. Next, for the purpose of identifying if most of the students' sleep duration is close to the average, we utilize the standard deviation, and from our data and as presented in Table 9, the civil engineering students' hours of sleep in a day has 0.80 standard deviation, implicating a low dispersion, and that most of the students' sleep duration is close to the average, or the 5.23 hours of sleep in a day. Now, having the same goal but in terms of per year level, we utilize the same statistical tool. And as can be gleaned from table 10, the standard deviation is highest for the second year students, having 0.95 standard deviation, followed by the third year having 0.78 standard deviation and 0.73 for the first year, which is the lowest. This implicates that the first year students have the closest sleep duration from the average. And upon knowing that most of the students is sleep deprived, we also try to know the probability that most of the students will have 4 to 6 hours of sleep in a day. But as a requirement, we must ensure first that our data is normally distributed or approximately normally distributed. So, we run some preliminary tests of normality, specifically the histogram, person coefficient of skewness or PC, normal quartile-to-quartile plot, and checking of outliers are performed. And based from the results, we can assume that the data is approximately normally distributed. With this, we now proceed with the calculation and result of the mentioned question. And upon computing the z-value for 4 hours and 6 hours and identifying their corresponding z-score and adding them, we now have an area of 0.7646. Hence, the probability that most of the students to have 46 hours of sleep duration is 76.46%. And upon interpreting these results, we formulate our conclusion. And as mentioned, by all reports and proven results, the first to third year civil engineering students of our campus are sleep deprived, mainly due to academic works, especially its sub-factor assignments, which confirm the study by Godiana and Taylor in 2021 and Canapari in 2015. Furthermore, an article by Oxford Learning in 2016 also authenticates the mentioned main factor affecting the sleep deprivation of the said students. Meanwhile, personal problems have the least influence to student sleep deprivation, while pertaining to its sub-factor, mental health problems are the most concerned by the students, which bring forth to their less sleep time. And conversely, despite the disparities in the level of years, the majority are influenced by academic works, followed by the use of gadgets, particularly the cell phone, which justify the study by Laguador in 2020, which then shows that the factors influencing students' sleep deprivation have little to do with the year they are in. And in addition to the former conclusion, the majority of the students tend to sleep for only 4 hours, which is far from the standard sleep duration, and have a high probability of having 4 to 6 hours of sleep, which is correlated with the computed mean value of sleeping hours of the student, which is 5.24. And to the percentage standard deviation, which is 0.80, whereby concludes that most of the students from our campus have nearly common sleep duration that is less than the standard sleep duration. And as previously said, personal concerns, particularly financial troubles, are the least significant factor since most of the students still live with their parents and hence unconcerned about finance. Nonetheless, the study suggests that school or academic works assigned to students consume so much of their time that it is a contributing factor to their lack of sleep. And that's all for our conclusion. And here are our references used in our survey. That's all. Thank you for listening, sir.